Commander Allison Wright stood tall on the bridge of her ship. The main screen showed a fleet of strange ships. They were bigger than any human ships. They had come from far away in space, from a place humans called the Orion Arm. Allison felt her heart beat faster. After years of wondering if humans were alone in space, they had their answer. But this was not the friendly meeting many had hoped for. "Commander, they're sending a message," said the young officer at the communications station. "Put it on screen," Allison ordered. The face that appeared wasn't human. It had gray skin, 4 yellow eyes, and no visible nose. When it spoke, its voice sounded like metal grinding. "People of Earth, we are the Kralax. Your planet has resources we need. Surrender them to us, or we will take them by force. You have 1 Earth day to decide." The screen went black. The bridge was silent. Admiral Peter Daniels, the highest-ranking officer in Earth's defense fleet, called an emergency meeting. Leaders from all major Earth nations joined by video. "We need to buy time," Daniels said. "Our ships are no match for theirs." Earth had made great progress in space travel in recent years. Humans had built bases on Mars and Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. They had even figured out how to travel faster than light. But their ships were few and small compared to the alien. Fleet Dr. Nathan Cooper spoke up. He studied languages, including possible alien ones. "We should try to talk with them. Maybe we can find common ground." Some military leaders disagreed. They wanted to fight right away, to show strength. Allison watched as they argued. She had spent 15 years in the defense fleet. She knew what human weapons could do. But she also knew when they weren't enough. "Admiral," she said, "Dr. Cooper is right. We need to talk first. If we attack now, we'll lose everything." Admiral Daniels nodded. "Commander Wright will lead a team to meet with the aliens. We'll set up the meeting at the moon station. It's neutral ground." The next day, Allison led a small team to the moon station. Dr. Cooper came to help with language. They brought scientists and a few soldiers for protection. The Kralax ship docked at the station. 6 tall aliens walked out. Their leader was called Supreme Commander Zekthar. He wore armor that seemed to shift colors as he moved. "We appreciate your willingness to meet," Allison said. Zekthar made a sound like a laugh, but there was no joy in it. "We do not need your appreciation. We need your planet's resources. Your species is young and weak. You have only just learned to leave your planet. We have traveled the stars for thousands of your years." Dr. Cooper tried to explain that Earth wanted peaceful relations. He talked about sharing knowledge and working together. Zekthar's 4 eyes blinked one at a time. "There is nothing you can teach us. Your emotions make you unstable. You fight among yourselves. You destroy your own world. We will put its resources to better use." Allison stepped forward. "Our emotions also help us create art, music, and new ideas. They help us connect with each other. Maybe there are things about us you don't understand." The alien leader stared at her. "Understanding is not required for conquest." Back on Earth, Admiral Daniels prepared defenses. He knew the meeting might not work. Earth's biggest ships moved into position around the planet. Ground bases got their weapons ready. On the moon station, talks continued for hours. The Kralax would not change their position. They wanted Earth's metals, water, and biological materials. They didn't care what happened to humans. "We can defend ourselves," Allison warned. "We won't give up our home without a fight." Zekthar stood up. He was almost 7 feet tall. "Your defiance is noted, but pointless. We have conquered 12 other worlds. Some fought, some surrendered. The result was the same." As the Earth team prepared to leave, Dr. Cooper made one last try. "Please reconsider. War will harm both our peoples." Zekthar turned to leave. At the door, he looked back. "There will be no war. Only a brief resistance before your inevitable defeat." As soon as the Earth team's ship left the moon station, things went wrong. Their communications stopped working. They couldn't call Earth to warn them. "They're jamming our signals," the pilot said. "And there's something else. Look." Outside their window, the Kralax ships were moving. Not toward Earth, but toward the defense satellites in orbit. They're going to hit our defense grid first, Allison realized. We need to warn Earth. The pilot tried every communication channel. Nothing worked. On Earth, Admiral Daniels watched his screens with growing concern. The moon station had gone dark. Commander Wright's ship wasn't responding. And the alien fleet was moving. Battle stations, he ordered. This isn't going to be a friendly chat after all. The first attack came fast. Beams of bright energy shot from the alien ships. Earth's defense satellites exploded one by one. The orbital defense grid that had taken decades to build was gone in minutes. Allison's ship raced toward Earth, trying to get within range of ground communications. They watched helplessly as the Kralax destroyed Earth's outer defenses. "Can we fight back?" asked one of the younger officers. Allison looked at the massive alien ships. "Yes," she said firmly. "We can fight, and we will." On Earth, cities lit, up with warning sirens. People looked up at the sky in fear. The news showed the alien ships moving closer. Some people ran to shelters. Others stood in the streets watching the sky change. Admiral Daniels sent every available ship to defend Earth. He knew they were outmatched, but he would not surrender without a fight. The Kralax sent another message to Earth. "Your defensive capabilities have been eliminated. Your leaders have failed you. Surrender now, and some of you may survive to serve us." In response, Earth's ships formed a line between the planet and the invaders. They were smaller and fewer, but they were humanity's last defense. The war for Earth had begun. 3 weeks had passed since the aliens first attacked Earth. The planet was no longer the same. Big cities that once shined with lights now lay in ruins. The Kralax ships had destroyed most of them in the first few days. New York, Tokyo, and Cairo were gone. Millions of people had died. Many more had no homes. Captain Samuel Rivera moved carefully through what was left of San Francisco. Once, this had been a beautiful city by the bay. Now, broken buildings reached up like burned fingers from the ground. Fires still burned in some places. The famous bridge had fallen into the water on the first day of attacks. "Keep moving," Sam told the small group following him. "We need to reach the bunker before dark." 10 people followed him. They were tired and scared. Some had burns or cuts that needed care, but they kept walking because Sam had promised them safety. "How much farther?" asked an old man who was limping badly. "Just a few more blocks," Sam said. He looked at the sky. No alien ships right now, but they could come back any time. The Kralax seemed to enjoy destroying things, even when there was nothing of value left. Among the group was Dr. Olivia Martinez. Before the attack, she had worked at a research lab, studying new types of weapons. She was smart and brave, but the past weeks had left dark circles under her eyes and dirt on her face. "I've been watching their attack pattern," Olivia said quietly, to Sam as they walked. "They hit military bases first, then big cities, then power plants and factories." Sam nodded. "Standard invasion plan. Take out defenses, then break the people's spirit, then destroy their ability to fight back." Olivia frowned. "But they missed some places. The research lab where I worked is untouched. So are several others across the country. It doesn't make sense." "Maybe they're saving those for last," Sam suggested. "Or maybe they want what's inside," Olivia said. They reached a small park. Once it had been green with trees and grass, now it was brown and burned. Sam led them to what looked like an old maintenance building. He pressed his hand against a hidden panel. A door slid open in the ground. "Everyone inside," he ordered. The group climbed down a ladder into darkness. When everyone was in, Sam closed the door above them and turned on lights. They were in a large room with beds, food, water, and medical supplies. "The military built these bunkers in secret years ago," Sam explained. "In case of attack. Looks like they were right to do it." Far above Earth, Commander Allison Wright looked out the window of her ship, the EDF Defiant. After the first attack, she had managed to escape with a small fleet. Now they hid among the asteroids between Mars and Jupiter. From here, they watched as the Kralax took over their world. "Commander," called Lisa Chen, her second in command. "We're receiving a signal from Earth. It's weak, but it's there." Allison rushed to the communication station. The voice was breaking up, but she could make out words. This is Resistance. Group, San Francisco. Survivors. Fighting back. Can we answer them? Allison asked. Not without giving away our position, Lisa said. The Kralax would find us in minutes. Allison felt torn. She wanted to let Earth know they weren't alone, that some of the fleet had survived. But she knew Lisa was right. Their small group of ships was no match for the alien fleet. They needed to stay hidden until they had a plan. Record the signal, she ordered. And any others that come in. We need to know who's still fighting down there. Back on Earth, Sam's group rested in the bunker. They had found medical supplies and were treating their wounds. Olivia sat apart from the others, writing in a small notebook. What are you working on? Sam asked, sitting next to her. Trying to understand why they're here, she said. The Kralax said they wanted our resources, but that doesn't explain everything. Earth has water and some metals, but nothing they couldn't find on empty planets. Why fight us for it? Sam had wondered the same thing. Maybe they just like conquering. Some people do. No. Olivia shook her head. They're too careful in some ways. They've left certain places untouched. And they're taking people. Taking people? Sam hadn't heard this. Prisoners, Olivia explained. They're collecting humans from certain areas, young ones mostly. I saw them do it before I escaped the city. Another survivor, a nurse named Ben, joined their conversation. I saw that too. They had these containers, put people inside and took them up to their ships. They weren't killing everyone, they were selecting. This news made Sam uncomfortable. Killing was bad enough, but taking prisoners meant the Kralax wanted something more than just Earth's resources. We need to find out what they're doing with those people, Sam said. The next morning, they left the safety of the bunker. Sam led them toward another safe house a few miles away. They moved during daylight, when the Kralax ships seemed less active. As they walked through the ruined city, they saw signs that not all humans had given up. Messages were painted on walls. Earth fights back, and humans will win. They passed a group of people digging through a fallen building, trying to find survivors. Others were collecting rainwater in buckets. People were helping each other, sharing what little they had. Humans are hard to kill, Sam said to Olivia. We don't give up easily. The Kralax will learn that, she replied. But we need more than just spirit to beat them. We need to understand them, find their weakness. They reached a hill that overlooked what had once been downtown. Now it was mostly rubble. But in the middle of the destruction stood a building that was perfectly untouched. It was surrounded by alien ships. That's the Advanced Research Center, Olivia said. Where I used to work part-time. They're protecting it. But why? Sam used binoculars to look closer. He could see Kralax soldiers moving in and out of the building. They were carrying boxes and equipment. Whatever's in there, he said, they want it badly. That night, they reached another bunker. This one was bigger and had more supplies. It also had a radio that still worked. Sam tried to contact other survivor groups. This is Captain Samuel Rivera, Earth Defense Force. Is anyone receiving? First there was only static. Then a voice came through. Captain Rivera, this is Resistance Group 7 in what used to be Chicago. We hear you. More calls came in. Groups from all over reported in. Some were military like Sam. Others were just regular people who had decided to fight back. They shared information about Kralax movements and safe zones. We're not beaten yet, Sam told the group after the call. There are thousands of us still fighting. Olivia wasn't listening. She was looking at a map, marking the locations of research centers the Kralax had left untouched. They're all the same type, she said finally. All studying human biology and brain patterns. They want something from us, not just our planet. In space, Commander Wright had made a bold decision. The Defiant would try to capture a small Kralax scout ship. They needed information about the enemy if they were ever going to fight back. It's risky, Lisa Chen warned. If they catch us, our whole fleet is done for. We can't hide forever, Allison said. Earth needs us to do more than just survive. On Earth and in space, humans were starting to fight back. They were few against many, and the Kralax were stronger. But as Sam had said, humans don't give up easily. The real question was, what did the Kralax really want from Earth? And could humans use that knowledge to save their planet? 6 months had passed since the Kralax invaded Earth. Winter had come and gone. Now spring was trying to return to a broken world. Small green plants pushed through cracks in the ruined cities, as if to show that life goes on. Inside a hidden lab beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Olivia Martinez hadn't seen the sun in weeks. She worked day and night looking through microscopes and studying computer screens. Dark circles showed under her eyes, but she wouldn't stop working. She couldn't. "You need to rest," said Captain Samuel Rivera, bringing her a cup of coffee. Olivia took the cup but didn't drink. "I'm close to something, Sam. I can feel it." After escaping San Francisco, they had made their way to this secret facility. It was one of the few research labs the Kralax hadn't found yet. Scientists from across the country had gathered here, working together to understand the alien invaders. Sam looked at the screens showing images of cells. Some were human, others alien. "What am I looking at?" "The reason the Kralax came here," Olivia said. She pointed to the human cells. "See how these structures in our brain cells are different from theirs? Our brains process emotions in a way theirs don't." Sam shook his head. "They invaded Earth because of how we feel?" "Not exactly," Olivia explained. "They invaded because they're afraid of how we feel. Humans experience emotions more deeply than they do. We feel joy, sadness, love, and anger in ways they can't understand. Why would that scare them?" "Because emotions drive us to do amazing things," Olivia said. "To create art, to fight for each other, to never give up even when logic says we should." She looked at Sam with tired but excited eyes. "They see our emotions as dangerous, especially certain ones like anger and hope. They call it the human fury in their research." In the 6 months since the invasion, the resistance had grown. People communicated through old radios and hidden computer networks. They shared food, medicine, and information. Small victories gave them hope. A supply ship destroyed here, a prisoner camp freed there. But the Kralax still controlled most of Earth. They had bases on the moon and were taking Earth's resources to their ships. Worst of all were the testing centers where they took human prisoners. "They're studying us," Olivia said, "trying to understand how our emotions work so they can control them." In space, Commander Allison Wright had succeeded in her mission. Her ship, the Defiant, had captured a small Kralax scout ship. Now her team was studying everything inside it. "Look at this," said Ryan Bennett, her intelligence officer. He pointed to symbols on a screen they had taken from the alien ship. "I've translated some of their records. They've been watching Earth for decades, trying to decide if we were a threat." "And they decided we were?" Allison asked. "Yes, but not because of our technology," Ryan explained. "They've destroyed 3 other species before us. All had one thing in common with humans: complex emotional capacity. They called these species evolutionary dangers. They think emotions like ours are a disease that needs to be controlled." Allison thought about this. "So they're not just taking our resources, they want to study us, to understand what makes us tick. And then to remove that part of us," Ryan added. "Some of their scientists think they can change human DNA to make us less emotional, more like them." "Like slaves," Allison said quietly. On Earth, Olivia worked with other scientists to use this new knowledge. If the Kralax feared human emotions, perhaps those emotions could be turned into a weapon. Sam brought news from other resistance groups. The Chicago team destroyed another testing center last night. They freed over 100 prisoners. "They get the research data?" Olivia asked. "Everything they could carry," Sam confirmed. He put a small drive on her desk. "It's all here." Olivia connected the drive to her computer. Her eyes widened as she read. "This confirms everything we suspected. The Kralax are collecting humans with strong emotional responses. They're running tests to measure how we react to different situations. Like lab rats, Sam said with disgust. But they're learning something they didn't expect, Olivia continued. Human emotions generate energy they can actually measure, especially strong emotions like fear and anger, and that energy interferes with their technology. This was the breakthrough they needed. If human emotions could disrupt Kralak's technology, perhaps they could turn that into a weapon. Olivia called a meeting with the other scientists. Together, they began working on what she called the Fury Protocol, a device that could amplify human emotional states and project them as energy fields. If it works, she explained to Sam later, it could disable their ships, their weapons, everything. And if it doesn't work? Sam asked. Olivia looked tired but determined. Then we keep fighting anyway. In space, Commander Wright's fleet had grown. Other Earth ships that had escaped the initial attack had found them. They weren't many, but they were brave. Using information from the captured scout ship, they began planning hit-and-run attacks on Kralak's supply lines. We can't beat them in a direct fight, Allison told her officers, but we can make them bleed. Her second-in-command, Lisa Chen, had become their best pilot. She led small teams in stealth ships to attack Kralak's fuel depots and transport ships. They've started changing their patrol patterns, Lisa reported after one mission. They're worried about us now. Good, Allison said. Let them worry. The Defiant used the asteroid belt as a hiding place, moving constantly to avoid detection. From there, they could watch Earth and plan their attacks. I've been monitoring their communications, Ryan Bennett told Allison one day. There's something big happening on Earth. They're gathering their ships around major cities. Are they planning another attack? Allison asked, concerned. I don't think so, Ryan said, looking grim. I think they're preparing for a final solution. They want to end the resistance once and for all. On Earth, the first prototype of the Fury Protocol was ready for testing. It was a helmet-like device connected to a larger machine. It would read, the wearer's brain activity, focusing on emotional centers, then amplify and project that energy outward. The first tests will be dangerous, Olivia warned the resistance leaders. Early versions could harm the user, but we don't have time to. Be careful. I'll do it, Sam volunteered immediately. Olivia looked worried. The risk is too high, Sam. Higher than doing nothing, he asked. Higher than letting the Kralaks win? In the end, they agreed. The test would happen the next day. That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. She checked the equipment again and again, making small adjustments. She didn't want Sam to get hurt. Sam found her still working at dawn. Having second thoughts? He asked. About the test? No. About you being the test subject? Yes. Sam put a hand on her shoulder. We all have to do our part, Olivia. This is mine. The test chamber was ready. Sam sat in a chair while Olivia placed the helmet on his head. Wires connected it to machines that filled the room. We'll start small, she said. Just try to feel something strong. Anything you can focus on clearly. Sam closed his eyes. He thought about his home, now destroyed. His friends who had died. The world as it used to be. Anger built inside him, hot and sharp. The machines hummed louder. Lights flickered. It's working, someone said. Then, everything went wrong. Alarms sounded. The helmet grew hot. Shut it down, Olivia shouted. Sam felt pain shoot through his head. But beneath the pain was something else. A feeling of power, like his emotions were flowing out of him, filling the room. The lights went out. Emergency lights came on, casting red shadows. Sam, Olivia was removing the helmet. Are you okay? He blinked, his vision clearing. What happened? One of the scientists was checking equipment at the far end of the room. Every electronic device within 50 feet just shut down, including some Kralak's communication devices we captured. They're completely dead. Olivia looked at Sam with wonder. It worked. Your emotions, your anger. It created an energy field that disabled their tech. Sam rubbed his head, which still hurt. Can you make it less painful for the user? We'll need to refine it, Olivia said. But yes, I think so. News of the successful test spread quickly through the Resistance network. For the first time in months, people felt real hope. They had found a weakness in the seemingly invincible aliens. Commander Wright received the news via their secret communication channel. A weapon that uses human emotions, she said thoughtfully. It's almost poetic. Will it work on a larger scale? Lisa Chen asked. We'll find out, Allison said, because we're going to help them try. The time for hiding was over. Now it was time to fight back. 1 year after the Kralax invasion, Earth was a different world. Cities that once shone with bright lights now lay in ruins. Fields that once grew food were burned and empty. The aliens controlled the skies and most of the land. But they did not control the human spirit. In the hidden lab beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Olivia Martinez worked day and night on the Fury protocol. The first test with Sam had shown it could work, but it needed to be safer and stronger. Other scientists joined her, each bringing their own skills and ideas. The interface is more stable now, Olivia explained to Sam as she showed him the new version of the helmet. It won't hurt you like before. Sam touched the device carefully. The first test had left him with headaches for days. And it's stronger? Much stronger, Olivia said. We think it can disable Kralax technology within half a mile now, maybe more. The resistance movement had grown over the past year. Small groups fought back in their own ways. Some destroyed alien supply lines. Others freed humans from testing centers. They communicated using old shortwave radios and coded messages. Ben, the nurse who had escaped San Francisco with them, had become their medical expert. He took care of those injured in the fighting. The aliens don't understand why we keep fighting, Ben said as he checked Sam's vitals before the second test. One of the prisoners we freed told me a Kralax guard was confused by our resistance. He said, "Why fight when you cannot win?" Sam smiled. They really don't understand humans at all. The day of the second test arrived. This time, more safety measures were in place. Sam sat in a chamber separated from the scientists by thick glass. Olivia spoke to him through a speaker. Remember, focus on one strong emotion. Last time, anger, worked well. Sam nodded. The helmet felt lighter this time, more comfortable. He closed his eyes and thought about Earth before the invasion. He remembered the sunset over San Francisco Bay, the way the light turned the water to gold. Then he thought about how the Kralax had destroyed it all. The anger came quickly, hot and sharp. The machines around him began to hum. Lights flickered. But this time, Sam felt no pain. Instead, he felt a strange energy flowing through him, as if his anger was becoming something physical. Outside the chamber, Olivia watched the readings with excitement. It's working. The energy field is forming. They had placed several pieces of captured Kralax technology around the chamber. One by one, they went dark as the invisible wave of energy washed over them. When the test ended, Sam removed the helmet. He felt tired but otherwise fine. How did it do? Olivia rushed into the chamber, her face bright with excitement. Better than we hoped. The field extended for nearly 3/4 of a mile, and it only affected the alien tech, not ours. This was the breakthrough they needed. Now they could fight back in a real way. In space, Commander Allison Wright received news of the successful test through their secret communication channel. Her fleet had grown over the year, as more Earth ships joined them. They had become skilled at hit-and-run attacks on Kralax supply ships. If the Fury protocol works as they say, Allison told her officers, we can finally take the fight to the enemy. She laid out her plan. Using the Defiant's remaining stealth shuttles, they would deliver teams equipped with Fury protocol devices to key Kralax installations across the solar system. We can't match their firepower, she explained. But we can hit them with something they've never experienced before. Lisa Chen, her second-in-command, would lead one of the teams to the Kralax base on the moon. It was a dangerous mission, but Lisa volunteered without hesitation. Just make sure those devices work, she said with a grim smile. On Earth, Olivia and her team worked to create portable versions of the Fury protocol. The original was the size of a small room. The new version needed to be something a soldier could carry. It's not just about making it smaller, Olivia explained to Sam. We need to make it more powerful, and we need many of them. Sam had become a leader in the resistance. He trained fighters and planned missions, but he always made time to check on Olivia's progress. The Kralax are planning something big, he told her one night as they shared a rare, quiet moment. Our scouts report. They're gathering their ships around major cities. Olivia looked worried. They must know we're up to something. Maybe they captured one of our people. Or maybe they're just tired of our resistance, Sam said. Either way, we need to hurry. They worked faster, pushing themselves to the limit. Sleep became rare. Food was whatever they could grab quickly. But progress was being made. The first portable Fury Protocol devices were completed 2 weeks later. They looked like backpacks with strange antennas and wires. Each unit needs a human operator, Olivia explained to the resistance leaders, someone who can focus their emotions to power the device. Not everyone can do it. We need people who feel things deeply and can channel those feelings. Like being angry on command? Asked one of the leaders. Exactly, Olivia said. Anger works, best because it's powerful and easy to summon. But other strong emotions work too. Determination, hope, even love. The plan took shape. Teams would be sent to key Kralax installations around the world. Each team would have at least one Fury Protocol device. Commander Wright's fleet would coordinate from space, attacking the alien ships in orbit when the ground teams activated their devices. As they prepared, a message came in from one of their scouts. Lisa Chen had been captured during a reconnaissance mission on the moon. The Kralax were interrogating her. We need to change our plans, Allison said immediately when she heard the news. They'll make her talk. But there was no time to create a new strategy. They had to act now before the Kralax completed whatever they were planning. Lisa is strong, Ryan Bennett said. She won't tell them everything. Allison knew he was right. Lisa would resist as long as she could. But everyone had a breaking point. The day of the attack came. Around the world, resistance teams moved into position. Each carried hopes as well as weapons. The fate of humanity would depend on whether Martinez's technology worked at scale. Sam led a team to what had once been Denver. The Kralax had a major command center there. His team included Ben and 4 other fighters. They carried 2 Fury Protocol devices. Remember, Sam told them as they prepared. Once we activate the devices, we'll have about 20 minutes before the power cells burn out. We need to make those minutes count. They moved through the ruins of the city as quietly as possible. Kralax patrols were everywhere. The aliens seemed tense as if they knew something was coming. They've increased security, Ben whispered as they hid from another patrol. Someone must have talked. Sam checked his watch. It was almost time. All around the world, other teams would be doing the same thing. It doesn't matter, he said. We go ahead as planned. They reached their position, a building that overlooked the Kralax command center. Sam gave the signal. Ben and another fighter put on the backpack devices. Sam checked the connections one last time. Ready? He asked. Ben nodded. For Earth. For Earth, Sam agreed. At exactly noon, they activated the devices. Ben closed his eyes, focusing on his anger, remembering all that had been lost. The device on his back began to hum. A wave of invisible energy pulsed outward. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then alarms began to sound from the Kralax facility. Lights flickered and went out. Alien soldiers stumbled out of buildings looking confused. It's working, Sam said, hardly believing his eyes. The Kralax ships that had been hovering above the command center suddenly lost power. They fell from the sky, crashing into empty fields. All across the world, the same scene was playing out. Humanity was fighting back, using the one thing the Kralax feared most, the power of human emotion. In space, Commander Wright watched from the bridge of the Defiant as the Kralax fleet fell into chaos. Ships lost power. Communications failed. It was the moment they had been waiting for. All ships engage, she ordered. Earth's small fleet attacked with everything they had. They targeted the Kralax command ships first, then their weapons platforms. The aliens, for the first time, were on the defensive. They had never imagined humans could turn emotions into a weapon. They had no defense against it. On the surface of the moon, resistance fighters freed Lisa Chen and other prisoners from a Kralax detention center. Lisa was weak, but alive. The information she had given under torture had been carefully planned, just enough truth to be believable, but with key details changed. The tide of the war had turned. For the first time since the invasion, humans had the upper hand. The question now was whether they could press their advantage. Dawn broke over what remained of Earth's cities. The light revealed a world forever changed by war. Buildings lay in ruins. Fields were scorched black. But something else was different this morning. For the first time in a year, no alien ships filled the sky. The Kralax were in retreat, pulling back to regroup after yesterday's surprise attacks. Commander Allison Wright stood on the bridge of the Defiant, looking at the blue curve of Earth below. Her ship had taken damage in the battle, but it was still flying. The crew worked quickly to make repairs. They knew the fight wasn't over yet. "Status report," Allison ordered. Ryan Bennett looked up from his console. "The Kralax fleet is gathering on the far side of the moon. They're protecting their command ship. And our forces? All ships reporting in. We lost the Valiant and the Horizon. 3 others have heavy damage. But the rest are ready to fight." Allison nodded. Losses were always hard, but they had achieved more yesterday than she had dared hope for. The Fury Protocol had worked, giving humanity its first real victory. "What about our special package?" she asked. Ryan smiled. "It arrived an hour ago. Dr. Martinez outdid herself. In a secure room at the back of the ship sat a device unlike any other. It looked simple, a metal box with wires and controls, but inside was humanity's most powerful weapon. Olivia had called it the Advanced Fury Protocol. It could generate an emotional energy field strong enough to disable an entire Kralax warship. "It needs a pilot," Ryan explained. "Someone to channel their emotions through it, someone strong." Allison knew who that would be. "I'll do it." On Earth, preparations for the final assault continued. Resistance fighters gathered in hidden bases around the world. Each group had a mission. Some would attack remaining Kralax ground forces. Others would free human prisoners from testing centers. The largest team, led by Captain Samuel Rivera, would assault the lunar base. Sam checked his gear one last time. His team had been training for this moment for weeks. They would use stealth shuttles to reach the moon, then Fury Protocol devices to disable the base's defenses. "Are you ready?" Olivia asked, helping him adjust his suit. "As ready as I'll ever be," Sam replied. He looked at her with concern. "You should stay here. It's safer." Olivia shook her head. "The lunar base holds their main research center. I need to see what they've been working on, what they've learned about us." Sam knew better than to argue. Olivia was as brave as any soldier, and her knowledge would be valuable on the mission. "Just stay close to me," he said. They boarded the shuttle along with 20 other fighters. Each person carried a small version of the Fury Protocol device. Ben, their medic, would stay behind to coordinate from Earth. "Good luck," Ben said, clasping Sam's hand. "Come back in one piece." The shuttle lifted off, joining 5 others heading for space. They would rendezvous with Commander Wright's fleet near the moon, then begin the assault. In orbit, Allison prepared her crew for battle. The plan was complex but clear. The fleet would engage the Kralax ships, drawing their attention. Meanwhile, Sam's team would land on the lunar base. Once both attacks were underway, Allison would take the Defiant directly to the alien command ship. "This isn't just about winning a battle," she told her officers. "It's about ending the war. We need to show the Kralax that they can't defeat us, not because our ships are stronger or our weapons better, but because there's something inside us they can never understand." The moment arrived. Earth's ships moved into position. The Kralax fleet waited on the other side of the moon, a dark mass of metal against the stars. "All ships engage," Allison ordered. The battle began. Earth's ships were fewer but fought with desperate courage. They darted between the larger alien vessels, firing precision shots at engines and weapon systems. The Kralax responded with overwhelming force. Energy beams cut through space. Several human ships took direct hits. Meanwhile, Sam's shuttles approached the lunar base from the opposite direction. They flew low over the gray surface, using craters for cover. Approaching drop point, the pilot announced. 30 seconds. Sam looked at his team. Their faces were set with determination. Remember, stick to the plan. Activate your devices as soon as we land. Don't give them time to respond. The shuttle touched down in a cloud of moon dust. The doors opened, and the team rushed out, Fury protocol devices already humming. Sam felt the familiar surge as he activated his device. He focused on everything the Kralax had taken from Earth. His anger flowed through him, becoming energy that spread outward. The effect was immediate. Alarms sounded throughout the base. Lights flickered and died. Kralax soldiers stumbled about in confusion as their weapons and communications failed. "Move in," Sam ordered. His team split into groups, each heading for assigned targets. Sam, Olivia, and 4 others went directly for the research center. They met little resistance. Most of the aliens were helpless without their technology. Those who fought with physical weapons were quickly subdued. "This way," Olivia said, reading signs on the walls. "The main lab should be ahead." They found it, a large chamber filled with strange equipment, and more disturbing, rows of containers holding unconscious humans. "Test subjects," Olivia said, her voice tight with anger. "They've been experimenting on them." "Can we free them?" Sam asked. Olivia checked the life support systems. "Yes, but carefully. They've been sedated. We'll need to wake them slowly." While Olivia and 2 fighters worked to free the prisoners, Sam continued through the facility. He downloaded every piece of data he could find, information about Kralax research, their plans for Earth, and most importantly, their weaknesses. No, space, the battle raged on. Commander Wright watched from the bridge of the Defiant as both sides took losses. "The lunar team reports success," Ryan told her. "They've secured the base and are freeing prisoners." "Then it's time for our part," Allison said. "Take us to the command ship." The Defiant broke away from the main battle, heading directly for Io, the massive vessel at the center of the Kralax fleet. It was easily 10 times the size of Earth's largest ship, a floating city of metal and strange energy. "They're targeting us," Ryan warned. Multiple weapons locking on. "Evasive maneuvers," Allison ordered. "Get us close enough to deploy the device." The Defiant zigzagged through space, taking hits but pressing forward. Smaller ships moved to intercept, but Earth fighters kept them busy. "We're in range," Ryan announced. 500 meters in closing. Allison headed for the secure room. The Advanced Fury protocol waited, its controls glowing softly. "Keep us steady," she told Ryan. "I need 3 minutes." She sat at the controls, placing her hands on the metal panels. The device connected to her mind, similar to the smaller versions but much more powerful. It would channel not just her emotions but the combined emotional energy of everyone on board. Allison closed her eyes. She thought of Earth as it had been: green forests, blue oceans, cities full of life. She thought of all those who had died in the invasion. She felt the grief of an entire planet. But beneath the grief was something stronger: determination, hope, the unwavering human spirit that refused to be broken. The device hummed louder. Energy built around it, invisible but powerful. 30 seconds to contact. Ryan's voice came through the speaker. Allison focused harder. The energy grew, filling the room, spreading throughout the ship. She felt as if she were carrying the emotions of every human who had ever lived. "Now," she whispered. She pressed the final control. The energy surged outward in a massive wave. It passed through the Defiant's hull, crossing the space between ships in an instant. It hit the Kralax command ship like a physical blow. Systems failed across its massive bulk. Lights went dark. Weapons powered down. The great ship drifted, suddenly lifeless. On the bridge, Ryan watched in awe. It worked. Their ship is completely disabled. Allison returned, looking tired but determined. Prepare a boarding party. I want to meet Supreme Commander Zekthar face to face. On the lunar base, Sam received word of the Defiant's success. Commander, Wright has disabled the alien command ship, he told his team. The Kralax fleet is in chaos. Olivia looked up from tending to the freed prisoners. So we've won? We've won the battle, Sam said cautiously. Let's see if we can win the war. Commander Allison Wright led a small team onto the Kralax command ship. They moved through dark corridors, past confused alien crew members who offered no resistance. The Fury Protocol had left them disoriented and their technology useless. They reached the command center. Supreme Commander Zekthar sat on a raised platform, his 4 yellow eyes watching them enter. Unlike his crew, he seemed calm, almost curious. Commander Wright, he said in his metallic voice, you have surprised us. That was the idea, Allison replied. She kept her weapon ready, but she hadn't come to kill. I'm here to discuss terms for your withdrawal from our system. Zekthar made a sound that might have been a laugh. You still think this is about conquest? About resources? We know what it's about, Allison said. You fear us. You fear what we might become. The alien was silent for a moment. Your species is dangerous. Your emotions make you unpredictable, volatile. Our emotions also make us strong, Allison countered. They help us create art, music, and yes, even weapons. They help us connect with each other, form bonds that you can't understand.